What's up, everybody? On today's Healthcast, we have my good friend Eric Bigger. He's a personal fitness instructor, television personality, author, and nationally recognized motivational speaker. He currently resides in Los Angeles, California, where he's written and successfully published 2 ebooks, 100 Days of Wisdom and Quotes to Shape Your Life. Following the book's success, he was featured in Essence magazine and several other notable national publications. His spiritual charm and intellect has landed him in national commercials and on several daytime talk shows, including The Kris Jenner Show. Most recently, Eric made history when he became a fan favorite as one of 31 contestants on ABC's The Bachelor. Today, Bigger is committed to using his platform in order to create a dialogue of health, peace, and prosperity. His testimony of life and illuminating energy has inspired many to beat many challenges and to live every moment as if it's your best and not your last. Welcome everyone to the latest episode of the Dr. Abs Healthcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bryan Abasolo, aka Dr. Abs. And today I have a very, very special guest, a dear friend of mine. This man is one of the most energetic and most positive people I know. I called him the Tony Robbins of our season because he was just always motivating and inspiring people on the show. My buddy, Eric Bigger, he's live right now on FaceTime. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm phenomenal, Bryan. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff.
Much love and respect.
Good
my
stuff.
guy.
All right, my man. I want to just take it back, to your childhood. Like I mentioned, you're one of the most energetic people I know. I mean, if anybody goes on your IG story, I mean, they're just going to see motivation, motivation, motivation. So I want to know, number one, where'd you get this energy from, bro? Because you're like, damn, man, I want whatever you're on, what molded and influenced you as a kid to make you the way you are today?
Man, I appreciate it. Honestly, Bryan, I'll give you the surface level perspective on energy, then I'll give you the deeper level. It'll make you probably go, oh, wow. So, just my whole organic makeup and how I am as a person, naturally, I'm just a positive human being. That's just who I am. It's my energy. That's my intentions. That's my livelihood. I'm just always positive since I've been a young boy, kid. And, there were moments if I don't really spend too much time in my negative energy or negative self, I'm always positive. And I think first and foremost, life itself, growing up in Baltimore is a tough city. And there were a lot of challenges I faced growing up emotionally and mentally that I didn't understand, didn't make sense. But, and I saw a lot of bad things. So just being alive, being here, having great opportunities, being on the big show. I mean, I've always been positive before the show, but I'm full of gratitude day in and day out, that's just my intentions. That's just who I am, full of gratitude. But on a deeper level, what a lot of people might not know, you might not know. I found this out when I was 25. So my mom said, by the way, I'm premature. So I came a month early. I was supposed to be due April 7th. I came March 9th. I had a twin, right? But my twin didn't make it.
Oh, wow. So
my mom always say, I feel like the twin is the energy living on inside of you. And the doctor always was telling her at the time that I probably wasn't going to make it. So she said, ever since she was a kid, I always would say you was the miracle kid.
You're a miracle baby,
miracle
man.
child. Wow. I was fighting for life before I came out. So my other half, which was supposed to be a female, a girl, she didn't make it. Wow. So my mom said, I feel like that energy of that other half lives inside of you. So that's a more deeper level, but just naturally, I'm just a positive person and I have a positive attitude. I take the good with the bad, and if it's bad, I find a way to make it good. So
absolutely.
That's just the vibe.
So you mentioned a little bit about your mom. Who was your biggest role model growing up and why?
That's a good question, man, because I really had no role models. I mean, the men in my family, they wasn't around. A lot of people just wasn't around like that emotionally. They were there, but the men in my family were, they were in the streets. They sold endless drugs. They were hustlers.
Yeah.
That's part of my ambition as well.
That's part of your makeup, man. You are a big hustler, man.
Like, that's what I saw. And the thing is, they did well in the streets, even though it was bad. My uncle, my dad, my cousin, they made a lot of money in the streets. So at like the age of 15, 14, 16, I was counting thousands and thousands of dollars and putting weapons up and moving this and doing that. And I mean, I remember, Bryan, when I was 20 years old, I testified in court of the jury on trial for my uncle, who
how old were you at the time?
Incarcerated for it. I was 20 years old. 20.
Okay.
For attempt murder, and I was an alibi witness. I was so scared. I was shaking. You know, like
I can imagine.
Kid, when I thought about it, I was like, damn, I've seen a lot in life. So growing up with those influences, I didn't really have like a main role model or person. I'm like, I want to be like that. I just knew there was something different than selling drugs and playing basketball. And I told myself, I'm going to make as much money as my dad and my uncle and my cousins did the right way, even if it took me longer. Because really, I was supposed to be a gangster, a drug lord, a kingpin, based on my blueprint. That was my blueprint growing up, was to be, a big-time hustler in the streets.
Yeah.
But that was the sacrifice I made not to do that, and it turned out great. It turned out better, and now I'm in a great position, man.
So basically, it was just something inside you that, you just knew that there was a better way. There really wasn't somebody out there in your life at that time that said, you know what, this is not the way to do it. Like, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to mentor you to do better. I mean, it was just something like inside of you that you just felt it. Because a lot of people I feel like a lot of people fall trapped to that. Like, if they don't have that person to look up to, they're just going to go down a dark hole.
Yeah. It was a little bit of that. And I also paid attention to their mistakes. I was watching the mistakes they did.
Yep.
And my uncle was like a mentor to me because I was the closest to him. He trusted me the most. And he would say, nephew, I do this so you don't have to do that. You don't have to do this. So go play basketball. You need to hang around guys who do what you do, but I don't want you to sell drugs. I don't want you to be this person. So that kind of influenced me. But basketball, really basketball was the role model. Like, in a different aspect, like
the
basketball.
outlet.
Basketball,
outlet,
it gave me life. It gave me something to give my energy to, something to focus on. So I give a lot of life and credit to basketball, the sport.
Yeah.
It changed my life. It gave me drive and gave me something to look after, when there's nothing else to do.
Put that all that energy into, something different.
I have
something
a lot
positive.
of energy. So
absolutely,
I did well in school. I played basketball. Like, I was a bookworm. A lot of people don't know, like, in college, I graduated magna cum laude, so I was very, very just keen on learning and becoming more, and I had a work ethic and just determined, man. And I think it's because the things I grew up experiencing. Like, I didn't want this life. I didn't want that life. I wanted, the way I'm living now. Yeah. So it all paid off. It all makes sense now, and I'm just grateful to be here.
And you had mentioned, obviously, like testifying, for your uncle. I mean, that must have been crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine what you were going through at that time. But, like, could you talk about maybe, like, what was the toughest time in your life? Maybe like a point where, you were at your lowest, you were at your most vulnerable, and, maybe you didn't think that, things were going to turn around for you. Maybe that.
Well, there were two.
Yeah, go ahead.
There were two moments. So my first moment was when I was in junior college. It was my first year. I was a freshman. I was the captain on the basketball team, Howard Community College, HCC, and I just wasn't playing up to par, man. My game was just bad. It was off. I was shook. I was nervous. I was scared. And it's all due because my senior year of high school kind of separated my shoulder, so that kind of going into the summer, I didn't really take basketball that serious. Mm-hmm. But this junior college, this coach wanted me on his team. So when I got into training camp that year, I was in shape and condition, but I didn't have the confidence. So throughout that season, man, there were moments where I was so low, Bryan, I'll be honest. I wanted something bad to happen so I can have an excuse not to go to practice and not to play because I was so low.
Yeah.
And the only thing that gave me light in life was my faith in school. And, I put my energy into getting, phenomenal grades, all A's, and just praying every day and every night, man, because I was even seeing a therapist at the time. She was my teacher, business teacher, but it was low. And then I think the second point was when I was 25, I was in LA. Yeah, so I was dating a female. She came in town from San Francisco. I was broke, B. Like, I was broke. Like, I probably, at that time, I had $7 in my account.
A lot of Netflix and chilling at the crib.
No, at that time, I think it was like 2012, 2013. Oh, okay. So that really wasn't even on a radar.
A DVD?
Yeah, not even that. I think at that moment, I was in a one bedroom with a roommate, and his entire family of 7 chose they came in town.
Oh, wow.
And they were all staying at the spot. So I couldn't invite her over. I didn't have enough money to take her out to eat. Couldn't get a hotel. And, you know, I just felt bad. And I'll never forget that moment. But also that year, my roommate at the time was a actor, model. He was killing it, bro. Like, I'm talking about, like, he was doing great in the TV world industry. And he was eating some food one day. And he had put some food like in the trash can. It was like some chicken or something, right? But it was like at the top of the trash can, right?
Mm-hmm.
B, I was so low and I was so hungry, he didn't even know it. I took a piece of the chicken and I ate it. You know what I mean? Like I was like, it was yeah. Like
you grabbed it from him?
No, it was in like, you know, say the trash can is open, is at the top, and there's like an open like container of where the chicken was.
Yeah.
I ate it, you know?
Okay.
But he didn't know. So those moments for me, a lot of people don't know that, some do. It was a low period in my life, man, and I'll never forget that because I always say, man, your lowest moments build the strongest you.
Absolutely.
You know, because I'll never forget that. And
not only will you never forget that, like not only will you never forget that, but like you use that as motivation to like never be in that position
and I got
again.
visual. I can literally see it as I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, something that was part of my story and that's part of my journey, and it's all good. I needed it. It made me better. I got wiser, got stronger, but it was tough, man. It was a tough moment. I was 25 years old. That was a tough point in my life. But overcame it and moved on, man.
Absolutely, man. So it just sounds like, you know, like you said, man, you were raised like in a tough environment. You had some low points in life, and, you know, that only made you stronger. And I mean, I've known you since 2017, and I just feel that, you know, you are always on your grind. You're an extremely hard worker, and you just have like this relentless passion about life that I just think is like so admirable that a lot of people could latch onto. But you know, unfortunately, not everybody is like that in life. You know, some people are lazy. They just don't have that drive or passion for life. So can you kind of give people in the audience, you know, just some tips on how they can live their best life, like each and every day? You know, you mentioned a little bit of gratitude. You know, talk about that. Like give people out there, you know, some tips on what they could do to just, you know, spice up their life and make them go get what they're meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, those are great questions. You know, for me and for everyone listening, you got to really get to the root of who you are. Like, who are you? Where do you come from? What is your DNA made of? What was your dad like? What was your mom like? Maybe you don't know them. Maybe you do. I ask questions. You know, I try to get to the early childhood of my dad and my mom and why this, why that. But you have to know who you are, and you have to know what you want. And maybe some of you don't because you just don't, and that's fine. I didn't know what I wanted for a long time. But I knew that I was supposed to be here to help people. How? I didn't know the how. So I think the most important thing is get to the root of who you are, have some type of spiritual connection, whatever that means to you. Do some work on yourself, you know, get some therapy, do some healing. The hardest work we'll do in life is on ourselves.
Yep.
I do a lot of internal work. I'm always checking my ego. I'm always learning so I can become more, and get around some good people, you know, get around some people that you like, that you aspire to be, and model them. I mean, it was Tony Robbins for me, Les Brown, Bob Proctor, a lot of these gurus, Eric Thomas, a lot of these guys and gals, and just people who just had that life that I wanted. You know, how did Oprah become Oprah? How did Warren Buffett become Warren Buffett? What are they doing? So I did research. I studied them. So before I leave the house every day, I'm putting a lot of spiritual reps. Yeah. I'm praying. I'm meditating. I'm writing down my gratitude statements. I'm doing affirmations. I'm putting myself in a motivation, inspiring type of vibration. So I'm living in this vibration every day. So when I come out, that's what you feel.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Tony Robbins has a thing. He said, what you practice in private, you will be rewarded for in public. So behind closed door by myself, I'm putting a lot of work, a lot of internal work. Just learning and curious and asking questions and taking risks and taking chances. But I think the number one thing is, who are you? Yeah. Why are you the way you are? Yeah. And that's why I'm into numerology, astrology. I'm always trying to get to the root of Eric Bigger, breaking myself down. And why do I do this? Why do I do that? Why do I have so much energy? Where is all this passion coming from? And honestly, growing up, I saw a lot of my friends die and pass away. So that was another thing that was a part of my life that I experienced that made me think like, man, people don't live past the age of 21. So I'm only make it to 25. Why is that? That bothered me. I know there was a life outside of just selling drugs and playing sports. I know there was another world and with different people. So, and always be curious. I think people should be curious.
Absolutely, man. I love what you said. You know, you didn't really maybe know a lot back then, but what you did know was that you wanted to help people. And what you did was, you know, you didn't know how you were going to help these people, but you found people that were helping hundreds and millions of people around the world. And, you basically study these people like Tony Robbins and Warren Buffett's, like all the successful people in the world, like how did they get there? And you basically pick up on things, and maybe like one day a light bulb goes off and it's like, you know what, that's my calling. You know what I'm saying? And
the thing is, the energy I studied, I became. That's what I had to realize when I got off the show. I went on the show my 7th year in LA. So, you know, that's kind of a powerful year, the 7th year you're part of something.
Yeah.
That's when I got my big break. But I was studying successful people for years and years, going to seminars, watching YouTube clips, reading books, just really getting down to the nitty-gritty of who these people are, what are they doing, how are they making all this money, you know, and it's like, and I found that passion and that life force within me.
Yeah.
And then eventually you become it. They say the 5 people you surround yourself with, you become. So those people at the time were in my energy, whether it was on YouTube or audio book or a podcast. I was in it every day, trying to get out of my own way, because it was tough, man. Like, you couldn't even, I couldn't even buy sneakers. I wasn't even dating. It was like, life was tough.
Yeah.
I had 3 jobs at one time, doing Uber, selling water machines, personal training. Yeah, I was going to auditions, trying to book commercials. Like,
you were hustling.
It was a grind, man.
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
So staying on that, all right. So staying on that motivational tip, I love the mantra "you versus you." There's a lot of comparison on social media nowadays. You see all these extravagant lifestyles. People have a tendency like to compare themselves, and I just feel like it should always be you versus you. You're uniquely made. Everybody's different in their own, unique way. And at the same time, we all may have a different definition of you versus you. What would you say is Eric Bigger's definition of you versus you?
I like that mantra, you versus you, because here's the thing. People got to understand, like you said, we are uniquely made.
Yep. No
one can be you more than you. You were born on a certain day at a certain time by your certain people and parents and raised in certain environments for a reason. So that's one. And then there's no competition. I'm my competition.
Correct.
On the show, they will always ask when we're in, I was the ITM, the interview rooms. They would say, how do you feel about the other guys? You think they're competition? I was like, no, they're no competition. I'm not thinking about another man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more focused on me and what I need to do for me, because
100%.
the moment I give energy to someone else, I lose energy on becoming my best self.
Yep.
So you versus you is just look yourself in the mirror. Who are you? Work on you. And what another person is getting has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know their journey. You don't know their story.
Correct.
You don't know their challenges. You don't know their problems. Most people think I grew up in the suburbs, mom and dad married together. I've never seen my mom and dad together. By the way, I witnessed my mom and dad at the age of 28 for the first time that I can remember eating food at the same table.
Wow. With
my sister and I. So it might look a certain way for me, but it wasn't always like that. The reality wasn't that. Yeah. So you versus you is just imano. No one can be you more than you. And you're your only competition and your best friend. Yeah. Good, bad, happy, and sad.
And it's funny that you say that, because in no way, like the way you say it, like I have no competition, like for example, on the season or in life in general, like I don't see that as a cocky statement at all. You know what I mean? Like you have your own journey. I had my own journey. Like you said, why spend energy worrying about, somebody else's connection or what other people are doing? Like that's taken away from essentially what you need to do to better yourself. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely. It's that's kind of like the thought process that I had going on to the show. It's like, I'm just going to be me. And at the end of the day, if, she chooses me, then it was meant to be. If not, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, would I be heartbroken, whatnot? Yeah. But, I would have known that I would have given everything to the process, and I wouldn't have thought, I shouldn't have, been messing with so-and-so and, starting drama and, all that stuff. So I totally feel you on that, man. So let's dive into a little bit of The Bachelor franchise. We were on 2017's season 13 of The Bachelorette with Rachel Lindsay. I want to play hypothetical, man, because obviously there's been a lot of talk lately about, diversity on the show. And, obviously Rachel was the first female lead of color. But we've never had a male lead of color. So what would you say? Let's play a hypothetical here and let's put some energy out in the universe. How would you feel if you were selected as the first male lead of color on the Bachelor franchise? How would you feel about that? And would you feel like there's an extra pressure on you? Like, talk to me about your emotions and things like that, what you would be feeling in that instance.
Man, there's a great book by Tim Grover. It's called Relentless. I actually read it a month ago. And he refers to cleaners. You have coolers, closers, and cleaners. So the cleaners are the people, they embrace pressure. They control the pressure. So for me, I see myself as a cleaner, but more importantly, there's no pressure. Yeah. Pressure is something you create based on the facts given and how you interpret them, right? So for me, I'm more than just a man of color. I'm more than just a black man. I'm more than an African American. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. I'm a male. I'm a human being. I'm a universal human. Yeah. I'm more than just the color of my skin. So I would take a different approach. I will understand the perspective of my race and culture and background, but it wouldn't dictate what I do or how I do it, Yeah. Because, and I think for me, it's because I know who I am. Without any of the TV stuff, you can take everything away from me, I'm going to be fine because I know who I am at the root of everything in life. So I got to follow my gut. I have to follow my heart because there was a moment in my life, actually right before the show, I didn't know who I was. I was a people pleaser. I did everything for everybody else and not for myself. So for me, it's like I'm honored. I'm privileged to have the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you, God. Amen, universe. Let's win. Let's rock. Let's make this happen. But there's no pressure. And honestly, I kind of thrive better in chaos, at times. When things are chaotic and all, I know exactly what to do because I kind of grew up in that energy. Like, oh, it's tough. I'm ready for the toughness. It's when it's too good, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of different, even though it's okay. Like, there were moments on our season, bro, like, honestly, when we were traveling, we was in Copenhagen, Switzerland, I'm like, scratching my head, like, is this real? This is surreal. I
it's
just
surreal,
couldn't
man.
believe it because everything was happening. So for me, it wouldn't be that much pressure. I don't think. Now I think the pressure will come when you got to pick your one, right? You know, when you get to the end. I think that's the real pressure because you got to make a real decision. Like, who do I go with?
Yeah.
You know, because you might be having love and falling in love with 2 to 3 people. Who knows?
Multiple women. Yeah.
But being the black lead,
we see Peter having some of those problems on this season.
Yeah. Hey man,
happens,
I told Peter not too long ago, and I told him, I said, man, you know, sometimes the nice guy syndrome is challenging. You gotta change it up. You gotta adjust and put your foot down and say, hey, look, this is how I feel. This is what I want, and own it. Don't worry about someone's feelings because honestly, our feelings are temporary. Yeah. You get over your feelings eventually. Yeah. Not, you know, but I'll be honest. It wouldn't be too much pressure. It would just be like, okay, cool. This is what we rocking with. This is time. Let's make the miracle happen. It's miracle season, baby. Move with the cheese.
Miracle season. All right. So speaking of, you know, making that decision, what is your ideal type of woman? Like, give me some characteristics and personality traits that are must-haves for women out there, you know, to be the one for you.
Man, first thing first, she has to know who she is.
Okay.
Right? Substance. I need substance. I need someone I can learn from that's going to challenge me, that's going to push me and teach me because I'm going to always hold someone accountable in my life. But I need someone to do that for me. Of course, someone who take care of themselves internally, externally, body, mind, soul, spirit, look good, confident. You know, I like nice teeth. I like nice skin. I like nice things. So someone who kind of upkeep themselves and who, you know, don't take life for granted, but understand, you know, they present themselves, you know, the best. So, but definitely substance, energy got to be A1, someone who's knowledgeable, someone who can challenge me. Like just a good person to be around. Someone I can call a friend, a wife, a partner, you know, all that in one, you know, because I realize in relationships, it's more than an intimacy and if y'all look good together. It's about if a person can be a partner.
Absolutely.
Because I always tell people, what's good to you, it's not always good for you.
Yep.
Even though now she might be good to you, but she might not be good for you.
Yeah.
So it's different, but that would be my choice, my ideal mate, if I can.
Nice, man. So is there anybody like that in your life currently? Or in other words, are you single? Just to let the ladies out there know that, hey, you know what? E Bigger
single
is
like a dollar. I'm single like a dollar. Single like a Pringle, ready to mingle. No, man, I'm single. I just been focused in 2020, man. I think last year I was going on so many dates. I was trying hard. I was putting my heart out there, and man, it just wasn't no reciprocation. There was no reciprocity. There was no. I just didn't feel the energy coming back. So this year was like, okay, I think, you know, I did meet someone last year. I think she was the right person, wrong time.
Okay.
But also happens. This year, this year was more like focus on your career, focus on your life and your livelihood. The woman will come.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is I feel like whenever you do start to focus on your life and your career, that's when everybody comes around. You know what I mean? It happens like that. When you're looking, you know, you can't find anything, but then
you can't find it. Yeah.
You know, when you focus on yourself, it all comes around. All right. So obviously when America first met you, it was on Rachel's season of The Bachelorette, and I've gotten to know you pretty well over the years, on and off the camera. And I just want to know, like, I picked up on something you said earlier, like you didn't know who you were before the show. So I feel like now, talking to the man that I'm talking to right now on FaceTime, like I feel like you're a totally different person. So, and I even said, like, I feel like I've talked with other guys about your growth. Like I feel like you grew leaps and bounds from your experience on the show. Can you just reflect a little bit on, you know, that personal growth that you went through?
Yeah, man. You know, so I mean, I literally transformed, like transformation. I figured it out, Bryan. I figured it out. I figured out what people saw in me, what people see in me. the impact I had on folks, the impact I do have on folks. And it got to a point where I'm like, oh, okay. Because here's the thing people listening need to know. This is everybody. Really, really, really listen to this. Bryan, whoever's listening, everybody listening. It's important, it's very important that you know how people perceive you and how people see you. Not that you care about it, not that it's priority, but it's like this, right? I give the analogy of Steph Curry. He has a nice jump shot. Now, if he's going to pick up games, he's shooting the ball, and he's just shooting it like he's going through the emotions, like, oh, yeah, I can shoot. But it's like NBA scouts and guys telling him, like, man, you can really shoot the ball. You're like, huh? What do you like? But everybody's telling him that. So that's called a sign, right? Somebody keeps telling you the same thing. That's a big purpose behind that. Mm-hmm. So eventually it clicks like, oh, my God, I can shoot the ball. I can shoot I can. So now when he shoots the ball, there's a different intention, different energy, different drive and purpose behind his jump shot. So now he's able to cash in more shots, shoot with more confidence, and really own that jump shot because he has a different perception and perspective on his jump shot. So when a person is telling you something, man, I love your energy, you're so positive, you're so motivating, man, you helped me, you changed my life, you gave me this, man, I don't think you remember, blah, blah, blah. Then you start thinking like, oh, because growing up, Bryan, I didn't have feedback, good or bad. So that's why I'm so good at giving it, because I never got it. So I had to learn how to receive feedback and really internalize it and take that information and put it in place so I can become better. It was like a light bulb went off, like, boom, got it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, so I just started doing work. Like, oh, you have a nice smile, you have nice teeth, oh, you got this, you got that. And because I wasn't embracing the best features of my personality or my persona. Yeah. I was just kind of like, oh, I'm cool. It's like, no, you're more than cool. Everybody doesn't have that energy. Everybody's not as positive. Everyone is not as driven. Everyone is not tall and has a nice physique. And you have that. So what are you doing if you're not utilizing it to the largest capacity?
The best ability possible. Yeah. You got to maximize.
Yeah. So I just kind of figured out little things about me and who I am and how I inspire people. I went to work. Like, okay, cool. Because someone might say, man, you motivated me, man. I'm like, that motivates me because then, okay, this is working. Okay, I'm going to dive right back into this book or this seminar and study this lingo and understand this and work on my energy. And, you just grow, man. It's just kind of like a spirit of knowing. Yeah. I call it discernment.
Yeah.
And I always tell people there should be something you know about yourself that nobody else knows. And I feel like the great people have it. The Floyd Mayweathers, the LeBron James, the Kobe Bryants, rest in peace, Michael Jordans, the Denzels, the Matt Damons, all these great people, man, they have it. And the people might not know it, but they know what they have. And it could be something small.
Yeah.
It could be how they say something, their posture, their vibration of their voice, their peace, their prayer. So find that little thing about you that makes you you. But also, how do people see you? Do they see you as someone who can do this? Or because most times, not sometimes, we have the wrong perception of ourselves, and we miss out on blessings.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, man, I'm not. It's like, no, you are that. But if you don't believe it, you're not going to attract the things that come with that vibration. So
absolutely,
that's how I figured it out.
Now you touched on feedback, both positive and negative. So I want to revert back to the show. Now I don't know how much of this season you've been actually watching, but a lot of the women specifically have received a lot of hate, racist hate online, and they've gotten cyberbullied and whatnot. And I don't necessarily know if it's more this season, because I know our season, and probably every season people get hate online that isn't really broadcasted to the world for them to see. But, it was a really impactful episode recently on the Women Tell All where, basically ABC addressed, the hate and the cyberbullying. And, I just wanted to get advice from you for the audience as far as how to respond to that negative criticism and that hate and that cyberbullying when it does happen to them. Not necessarily for people that are on the show, but just in general, anybody in general that is receiving any type of hate, any type of cyberbullying. What would you say to them to kind of just block out that noise and move on to be their best self?
I think, if you're, people bullying you on the net, online, you have to understand the platform you're on. And you have to understand the ins and outs of that platform, what comes with it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And also, you have to get to a point in your life, and this is why working on yourself is so important, because you can't allow people to have a word or people's perspective or opinion above you have so much power over your being. Now, granted, it is hard. It is tough. It's not easy. But you have to find a muscle in you internally that that no matter what someone says or attempts to say or do or paint you to be, that it doesn't have power or weight over your life. And also, you got to have boundaries around what you give energy to, give attention to. 2 years ago, I was in this all-out BM with some lady who didn't even know me. Like, you're using miracle season in a wrong context. What do you know? And this. And I felt myself going back and forth for like 40 minutes in the DM.
That's your context. Like, you have your own context for miracle season. Like, that's not yours.
Right. And I'm like, this lady don't even know me. I said, to be honest, I've been this person before you know me from TV. But that's beside the point. I was giving her energy. I was giving her life. I keep feeding into the negativity, the hate, the resistance. So from that point, I made a decision, whether it's a comment, a DM that's negative, I don't try to go back and forth to prove them wrong or prove myself right or make them feel less than. I just say they don't know no better. Because in real life, I know the conversation and the energy will be different. Because people are not as confident or strong in person as they are online. So you take the good with the bad, but you got to set boundaries. You got to understand the platform you're on. And you can't not allow people, things, circumstances, or words to have power over you. Granted, it's hard. I do a lot of work on myself, so I can kind of take some hits emotionally and mentally. Yeah. But most people can't. So that's where you got to find out or find the people around you who can be there when these things are happening. Because, granted, man, it's hard, man. It's tough. But do know that those things are out there. And that's why I think it's good to expose yourself to different energies and different people. Because if you live in a la-la world of like, oh, no, bubble, hey, then you go over here and they're like, oh, wow. You got to be able to deal with your bubble life and outside of the bubble life.
Like the reality check
somewhat distinct. Yeah. You can't be, stubborn to what's not going on or what is going on. And you're like, oh, that doesn't happen to me and then it happens. No one is exempt from life of challenges, struggles, or resistance. So just know yourself, own yourself, and know your platform you're on. And I think that'll help a lot of different things.
100. All right. So, obviously you've been living in LA for a while, man. And, you had mentioned him earlier. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. He was an icon. He, passed away in a tragic helicopter accident. And, I don't know about you, man, but like his death really, it pretty much affected everybody. Let's be honest. It really affected me. I remember, sitting in front of the TV with Rachel. We were both sobbing. You know what I mean? It was really, really tough. And just for what he stood for. He was a great father, and he had this second chapter to his life where he was going to do, amazing things, possibly better things than he did on the basketball court. I thought he would have done amazing things for women's sports, and he was doing movies and animated films for kids. He was going to be on another level in his second act. And one of the things that everybody takes away from Kobe, obviously, is his Mamba mentality. And I think that he resonates with so many people because that Mamba mentality is something that every person on this earth can benefit from if they adopt that mantra, that Mamba mentality. So what did you take away from Kobe's death, and, how do you incorporate that Mamba mentality into your everyday life?
Well, Kobe was a big inspiration of mine just because he played basketball. He was relentless, and he was focused. He wasn't my favorite player. LeBron was my favorite player, is my favorite player. But I respected Kobe so much. And I used to go on YouTube and watch his interviews.
Yeah.
And I watch his body language and watch how he got down. But I think one thing that Kobe, the death for one that really taught me and made me think about, I don't take anything. Before I didn't take life for granted, but you really can't take life for granted, you know? And it made me think about if there's any quarrels or any like beef or challenges or any resistance with family members or friends or foes, I'm good. I don't want no drama. I don't want no negativity. It's all love. And life is short. You got to live it to the fullest. And you got to do your best. No one's promised today, tomorrow. It's just we got to live and be our best self, but not to take life for granted. And Kobe just was a different animal, man. And I think his purpose was, I can't say just to play basketball because he was a great father and advocate off the court.
Yep.
But I feel like his life was cut so short that I feel like most of his life was basketball. But he died being a father, which is beautiful about his story and his journey. And I think, you know, people should adapt that Mamba mentality, at least that focus. When you want something you yearn for, you should put in the time, the energy, and the effort to get it. So rest in peace, Kobe Bryant and Gianna, Bryan, and all the people on the plane. And it's just sad, man. My whole thing was this. Everybody, we're all going to go at some point.
Yeah.
But the way he died is just like, it's devastating, man. You know, I cried for 3 days. That's the thing that kind of ripped me apart. It was like, why like that, man? Why his story got to end like that?
Yeah, it was just like it was like the book was unwritten for him. You know what I mean? Like there was so much more to live for, and I thought he would have just done amazing things for the world. You know what I mean? Not just his family, but you know, he would have just helped out so many other people, and it's just really, really sad, man. Anyway, I want to finish out on a little bit of more positive note. Want to do a little bit of rapid fire, quick rapid fire. So I'm just gonna ask you the question, you answer it, and then we'll finish out by you plugging yourself, man. I want to know what you got going on. You know what you got going on moving forward. You know, what's the future of Eric Bigger? So let's get it done with this rapid fire. So first off, I know you're a sports lover. Basketball or football?
Basketball, baby.
Money or fame?
Money all day, baby.
Favorite person to follow on IG for motivational content is?
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. All right. Biggest pet peeve in the opposite sex?
Hygiene.
Just going to leave it at that. Very general.
Yeah.
Anything in particular?
Yeah, hygiene, baby. Your breath, your body odor, all that. Like, you got to smell good. And I do not like someone who lies, man. Just tell me the truth. Even if it hurts, don't lie to me. That bothers me. So those two things are my pet peeves.
Got it. All right. And last one. Finish this sentence. In 2020, I've let go of, or I'm letting go of what?
2020, I'm letting go of trying to be fully in control of all things. And I'm letting the universe help me with that and people around me. I'll allow other people to lead me and help me, and I'm letting go of being fully in control.
Because you're never in control of everything.
Right.
You got to just let the chips fall where they may. Awesome, man. All right, man. So let's plug you, man. What, you know, give everybody your social handles so they can follow you. Still doing your podcast. Let's hear about that. Let's talk about this 30-day challenge that you're promoting.
Yes,
let's hear it, bro. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so, you know, Instagram, Eric Bigger, EricBigger. Follow me on Twitter, Eric_Bigger. I am on a Snapchat. Unfortunately, I have shares in that company. But anyway.
Have you made it to TikTok yet?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, but not really active, but you can find me on there.
I want to see you dancing on there, man. Come on.
Yeah, Snapchat, EBIGGSS, eBigs. Yeah, man, so those are my handles. I'm on LinkedIn as well. Follow me on LinkedIn. Yeah, so right now I'm shooting content for 30-day fitness challenge, EB 30-day challenge. I'm partnered with a celebrity trainer, Mike T. He trains Megan Good, Devon Franklin. Taraji P. Henson, Angela Simmons, Vanessa Simmons. The list goes on. And we partner with, I'm the talent that I'm going to do my 30-day challenge with a bunch of different, powerful, phenomenal, influential women, in the fitness space and the social media space, just in general.
Yeah.
So that's the key that I want to show couples and partners and friends and buddies that you can work out with the opposite sex. And it doesn't have to be all weights or all squats or all cardio. It can be a combined collaborative effort of building a relationship, building a friendship, building a partnership. So that's ff30daychallenge.com. You can get the pre-order right now.
And it sounds like you can meet, maybe a significant other in the future.
Yeah.
So you never know.
So I have a bunch of phenomenal women joining me. Mike T, the trainer, Force Fitness, Inc. He's on Instagram as well. Follow him. And just be on the lookout, man. I got a book coming.
Okay.
That's potentially next.
Any sneak peeks? Any sneak peek information on that, or you're gonna keep it hush hush for now?
It's hush hush. Just know it's motivational.
Okay.
Anything to inspire, to impact.
I figured that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
All right.
But that's about it, man. I'm just happy to be alive. Attitude is gratitude. I appreciate my following, my fans. ABC, The Bachelor, Bryan. I mean, your phenomenal wife who gave me the opportunity to change my life, change our lives.
Absolutely.
So,
100%.
Man, everything is just love, man. Life is good. Like Drake and Future say, life is good, man. What Young G say, mine is the BS. Life is great. BS. Mine is the bush. Life is great, man. So I'm thankful,
man. All right, guys.
Dr. Abs, man.
Hey,
you the man.
Hey, trying to do it, baby. All right, Eric. So thank you so much for coming on, man. Everybody follow this man on Instagram. He's so motivational. He posts tons of stories all the time. I got to start posting stories like you, man, because, your stories are phenomenal. You're always motivating people. His content is absolutely great. And, man, he's a dear friend, and I wish him nothing but the best in every aspect of life. So, Eric, love you, bro. Thank you for coming on, and we'll be talking, buddy.
Love you, man. Be great. Keep winning. It's miracle season. Move with the cheese. And get to LA soon so we can make some money together, man.
I knew you would say that. I may be out there sooner than you think. Let's do a boot camp together, man. Let's do a 30-day challenge together. Okay.
Come on. Let's get in the mix. Let's help people. Let's inspire. But thank you, Dr. Ab. Thank you, Bryan. I love you. Be great. Tell your mom and dad I said hello. And keep killing it, man.
All right,
miracle
buddy.
season.
You the same. All right. Talk soon.
Love. All right, bro. Here.